Kiitos Eija Juurela ja tiimi Climate World. Kemikaalikoktailit ja lääkeaineet aiheuttavat ongelmia jäteveden puhdistamisessa. Vesistöjen lääkejäämät voitaisiin poistaa lähes täysin, jos tahtoa ja rahaa riittäisi. Tämä tiimi kasvattaa farmasian alalle uutta sukupolvea, joka ottaa ympäristönäkökulmat huomioon kaikkialla lääkealalla. Tervetuloa Tiina Sikanen, Generation Green.
Thank you. Good evening. My team wants to put a green label on trucks to indicate their ecological impact. Because surprisingly, even if we know the very exact carbon footprint, like we've heard, of our everyday actions, even of toilet paper, we actually don't have too much information, if any at all, on the ecological impact and footprint of medicines, neither as consumers nor as healthcare professionals. And I'm not just talking about the cover and packaging, but it is also what's on the inside. I'll give you one example. Every one of us needs clean water on a daily basis, but none of us really wants it with chemical cocktail. However, at the same time, it is inevitable that medicines too end up in wastewaters. Every time we intake a medicine, it has taken the action, it will be eliminated to urine. And some of these drugs actually pass the wastewater treatment and may exceed the critical threshold. And then they will become a trouble to the environment. Some drug residues, like antibiotics and hormones, may have really severe effects on the environment, even at very low doses. And when we think about urbanization, aging population, growing population, it is clear that this will happen at accelerating pace all the time, unless we do something. The problem with all current solutions is that they are mainly problem-solving in nature, like removing drug residues from wastewaters. But my team wants to do it differently. We want to be proactive and prevent the risks before they turn into problems. And we want to implement new environmental criteria throughout the drug development process, from the very first molecular design and until the drug packaging. And we want to do it in a way that it also has impact on pricing and reimbursement. Because our vision is that in the future, the green label on drugs also means lower price to the consumer. As pharmacy professionals, educators, and researchers, we used to think that, okay, the most sustainable approach is through education, and therefore we want to reform the whole pharmacy education in terms of green practices. First in the world, here at the University of Helsinki, so that the new generations of pharmacy professionals will have an integrated and built-in understanding of the environmental consequences of all their actions, from the molecular design and until the support of medication adherence. But in the course of the challenge competition, we've also had a pleasure to share our vision with a great number of stakeholders from the pharma industry and authorities, politicians. And actually, they all agreed with us on the vision by saying that, yes, in addition to education, there is a clear need for proposals on new legislative actions. There is a clear need for new international research openings on how to develop drugs that are fully biodegradable and harmless to the environment. And also the pharma industry, they don't consider green practices as an extra investment, but they rather think it's a top-edge, cutting-edge technology that they can be proud of. So, because of this, our solution in its current form, it's a joint initiative between education, research, industry, and policymaking. And to prove you of the efficiency of this approach, I actually want to take you out of the context for a while. And please take a look at this picture. What do you see? Just a normal situation, I believe. But I bet you all also remember the time when there were no safety belts in the car backseat and children were leaning to the front and jumping in the back while driving. But then something happened, and we would never allow our children to do the same. And this is because what happened was that we were educated about the risks, and we got a law that fully supported the change. So what our team has done is that we've put the first stroke moving, and we start to gradually see the impact. We've been talking and raising awareness on a national level, but also globally. Just last week, we had a webinar in which we had nearly 100 attendants from as far as Nigeria and the US. And I'm also happy to share these greetings from an Australian colleague who is keen on implementing our model of sustainable education to their educational system down under. At the same time, our team wants to also develop a general model which is also applicable not only in the pharmaceutical field, but also in other disciplines, a general model of sustainable higher education. And in order to do that, we want to implement something that will remain and will hopefully also impact the strategies of the universities in the future, so that green values will actually become green actions in the future. And all this only because environment is our common concern, and especially even the clean water resources alone are so precious that they may easily be the reasoning for wars in the future. And this we can't afford. So let's take the action now. Thank you. I represent Generation Green.